So we basically woke up to a very strange bit of news today, folks. Before I get into the news, let me introduce myself. I'm Siddharth Vishwanathan, and alongside me is Shane Dias. We are part of this special dugout that is dedicated to communication.
Or a lack thereof.
So today, suddenly, Virat Kohli and the coronavirus were trending. Why was that? So let me just explain to you the chronology of events that happened. Okay, there was a report in a media portal that said Virat Kohli had tested positive for the coronavirus but had recovered. Okay, apparently he had contracted COVID while he was holidaying in the Maldives. Straight to the chase. So these two things have happened. However, there are several questions that come in this whole situation. If Virat Kohli had tested positive, was it in the Maldives? Because if he had tested positive during the England tour, we would have not seen him interacting with the fans. We would have not seen him go into Leicester with no face mask and also giving a passionate speech. So basically, this is what has happened today. The communication leak that happened basically pointed out that Virat Kohli was diagnosed with COVID during holidaying in the Maldives. Now he is in England, he is recovered fully. But the question once again begs, we all have to again say, why did this leak come at this particular point in time? Once again, it puts the BCCI communication under the scanner, the archaic and opaque communication that is there within the sources. The business of sources in the BCCI has once again led to confusion, conundrum, and every other thing that is associated with chaos. So, this is a summation of what happened in the Virat Kohli case. Okay? News reports suggest Kohli contracted COVID-19. However, no BCCI communication on the matter when it was apparently before 16th. Today we got to see that communication, but what was it? It was all muddled.
That's the thing. I mean, there was no actual official confirmation from the BCCI on the matter. And in the end, we also discovered and realized that he did test positive, but it wasn't really in London. So there's no danger of him missing the test match. Then why exactly is this information, or why did it come out now? And why couldn't it have been communicated beforehand that, yes, this man who's a key cog of the squad tested positive and that, he's recovered now, all is well. And the thing is that this is not something new in terms of, if we're talking, of course, Siddharth has made his views on the communication skills of the BCCI very clear. But even if you look at just this particular series or just this particular tour itself, this isn't exactly something new, because the whole Kohli thing was the second COVID bombshell to actually drop, the first being that of a certain Ravichandran Ashwin.
Yes. So Ashwin tested positive before departure. Okay. As of now, even now, it is, remember, sources. This whole business of sources. As of now, no official word on the availability. What we are getting to here is, if Ashwin recovers today, he will be there day after tomorrow in London. He will not take part probably in the Leicestershire warm-up game. He will be fit for the England one-off test, but whether he plays in that's a different question altogether. So I'll again say one thing very clearly. Okay, why should the BCCI give us the information? This is not the first time it's happened. Okay, let me point out to that fourth test at the Oval, 2021. Yes, 10 months back, it seems an era ago, right? We are now living in an era without bio bubbles, without this isolation and everything. By the way, if everybody has a close look at the New Zealand test series, anybody who's tested positive has to isolate for 5 days.
Yeah.
It happened with Kane Williamson.
Yeah.
Here, there is apparently what happened in the Oval. Can we all know, yes, Rohit Sharma's brilliant 100, everything of that happened. But what happened in just before that? A certain book launch where no biobubble protocol was followed. Many members tested positive. And why is that very important? Because that rescheduled fifth test that was supposed to be played last year is being played now.
Yeah, correct.
So, even at that time, the communication was muddled. BCCI and communication, well, Can we say anything about the captaincy exit from the test matches, Shane? Okay.
I mean, not even test matches. The chaos which actually engulfed, if we're talking about Kohli's captaincy exit, which of course all of you would remember very clearly, was that, when it first happened, Kohli announced in public, mind you, he put out a tweet. So that's about as clear a communication as you can expect from anyone in the digital age, that you're putting out a statement via social media, where he said that, look, I want to focus, I want to manage my workload, and I want to step down his captaincy in the T20I format. Fair enough, so far so good. But what later happened was that he was then, stripped of the ODI captaincy as well. And then later on, the part which really made everything confusing was that Kohli on one hand said that he was not left with much of a choice in the matter.
Yep.
BCCI then used, of course, the BCCI contradicted that matter, where they said that no, it was entirely his choice. So again, you're left wondering who is saying what.
Yep.
And there's a lot of Chinese whispers in public going on, so people aren't exactly very clear about what's happening.
Saurav Ganguly and Virat Kohli, the tiff was very much out in the open, and it culminated in that South Africa series, when suddenly after the South Africa test series loss, Kohli stepped down even as the test captain. Now remember, even when it came to communicating the captaincy calls, Virat Kohli is not the first victim. Let me tell you that. Even the great Sachin Tendulkar was not informed that he was going to be stripped of captaincy after the disastrous series that he had to endure for the past 2-3 years. So if the BCCI should not spare Sachin Tendulkar, why would they spare Virat Kohli?
Yeah, I mean that's the.
Our major concern every single time when this happens is the business of sources, and as well as why do we all want to sow chaos when it comes to simple communication? Can't a simple statement come out that okay, Ravichandran Ashwin, Virat Kohli, when it happened, simple procedure when it came to the thing, we all talk about biobubble protocol and everything. Protocol in a common sense word should be, press release comes, no problem. It's not as if he's responsible for causing World War III. He's not an intelligence agent also, just simple. He's tested positive, but he's expected to be fit after doctor's diagnosis for the series.
Right.
2 or 3 lines at that particular moment. Why is it asking for too much? By the way, when it comes to even communication, who can forget the 2020 fiasco when it came to the Australia Tour selection and the IPL?
Yeah.
Okay, for all you people, when the squad was announced for Australia, okay, Rohit Sharma was left out because he had suffered an injury.
And remember, he's left out of all 3 squads, not just one squad. He wasn't named in the Test, ODI, T20 squad, nothing. Nowhere.
2020-2021 folks, let me tell you, this is that. However, on that same day, just hours after after selection thing is done, Mumbai Indians on their official Twitter handle post out a video, a full-fledged video of Rohit Sharma practicing. Where is the injury? Where was the coordination? IPL has a different protocol, BCCI has a different protocol. The stories went bonkers. Basic communication, if I have to say, left hand does not know what right hand is doing. That is how the BCCI communication is. So in a nutshell, I have talked about 4 instances, okay, wherein communication when it comes to the BCCI on matters related to players' fitness has been into question. The Ridhiman Saha instance is a different case altogether. Like before this dugout, we are all discussing that even Ridhiman Saha, because of that shoulder injury, that had nothing to do with the BCCI, it was the NCA botch-up.
And also you have to remember that was more a case of medical misdiagnosis than actual communication issues, because when it really came down to it, we all got to know that he'd had the surgery, but we were all caught off guard thinking, wait, why did he need shoulder surgery if he had a hairline fracture in his finger? But again, and even here, let's play devil's advocate for 1 minute. The fact of the matter is, okay, you can still to some degree excuse, the Kohli this thing, because you can say, okay, fine, that when it happened when it was on his personal time. It didn't really happen in the middle of a series. It didn't really happen when he was practicing. It didn't happen in any cricket related matter. He had time off, which he had taken. Of course, it was well, approved in advance. When the South Africa series would be going on, he would be on time off. He was on vacation. There, what happens to him? Well, you can say that he might maybe be a little more responsible, but again, that's neither here nor there, and the BCCI has nothing to do with that. But the Ashwin thing was again a bit of a shock because the thing came, the news broke just when the team was departing.
Yes.
Or when the team had just departed. So again, there you could wonder that, you could just put out a simple thing saying, okay, why is Ashwin not there? He tested positive for COVID and, he'll be at home. He'll recover and then make it back in time. So that again, that not being there is a bit of a head scratcher. In fact, we were talking about the Rohit Sharma thing. Even Sunil Gavaskar at that point said that, I understand that franchise cricket and the BCCI international and the BCCI with their focus on international cricket are two very different things in this regard, of course. But you can still have some sort of a synergy there because you're putting confusion in the minds of people. If the BCCI says very clearly that look, he's not playing or he's not going to be playing the entire tour, not a single leg, not even the white ball leg, red ball leg, not even within the white ball, you could say he was playing either ODIs or T20Is. He was doing neither of that, and then the franchise just goes out there and puts out, and mind you, the video came after pictures, so it was double confusion. First there were pictures of him going out to practice, and then they're like, okay, wait, he's supposed to have an injury. Then there's a whole 45-second montage of him batting, and you're like, okay, what's going on here? Because there's no idea, people went a little confused.
Okay, we will again say why did that matter? I'll say one simple thing, because if Rohit, what was the protocol at the biggest? Remember, we were in bio bubbles at that time. The team had to make a simple bio bubble from Dubai to Sydney, so they did not have to do the hard quarantine.
Every team had their own bio bubble because they were staying in a separate hotel.
But the bio bubble to bio bubble transfer meant that you do not have to do a hard quarantine. But because Rohit exited the quarantine, he had to spend some time at the NCA, he had to do 16 days quarantine in Sydney. So that is why he missed 2 tests. He then played the Sydney test.
He only played, yes, you're right.
So I am only stating the fact that simple common sense does not prevail in all of these matters. Okay, even if the Virat thing happened on 14th, supposing, because you had to be back from the Maldives, say 2-3 days before, just to get ready, the camp has to be assembled and everything of that kind. They leave on the 16th. They shared the pictures. He's interacting with the fans. He's going to the ground in Leicester minus a face mask. Let me tell you, the COVID situation in India and around the world is again on an upsurge. Because there is a 37% increase in all the cases, and England, they've just given up. There is no bio bubble. So at that point in time, why then did this suddenly have to come up? And why did this come up again? Because the BCCI treasurer has issued a word of caution in that same media portal. He said that you should not rush an individual back after he's recovered from COVID. So does that mean he's not playing the Leicestershire warm-up? We don't know. Suddenly, can Kohli, with the form that he's in now, can he suddenly jump back into the Edgbaston test and contribute to the 100?
I highly doubt he won't be playing, because even the Leicestershire Twitter account has posted a nice little montage of him in the net, so he is most likely playing.
He is most likely playing, and remember that game is on the 24th. And that is considered, I have my other reservations on the county team that will come up. But yes, it is kind of acclimatization for the one-off test that is in Edgbaston. And remember, we don't have a good record in Edgbaston when it comes to test matches. So that is the thing. Now let's take some questions. Hardik is saying we should not expect opaque communication. It's our fault. No, Hardik.
But hold on. Opaque means what? If we go by the 3 degrees of it, transparent, translucent, opaque. Opaque means we should not expect blanket, we should not expect unclear communication, but we don't expect unclear communication. Opaque means, you can't see through it. So I think what he means is that we shouldn't expect transparent communication, and I disagree. I think we should all expect a basic degree of communication in such matters. That, our players are there and they've tested positive for COVID, and what was their situation. Otherwise, everyone's left guessing. And that's the thing, a lot of the times we're just left speculating as to, will he be able to play? Even the Ashwin story when it first came, it was first said that he might reach, by the end of the month. Then you are getting to hear a day later that, he'll reach there in 2 days' time. And you're thinking, 2 days' time?
How do you recover from COVID?
Exactly. Even a very mild case will take you about 5 to 6 days. Yes. So you're thinking, did he have it before? Was it caught on later? What is the thing? That is why, you want to know, these are all public figures and you kind of care about their well-being as well. Let's leave aside the fact that we, are worried about team composition and things like that. The fact is, you're also thinking, he's got COVID. How bad is it? How did he get COVID? You want to know these things, and you're not asking for a lot. It's not like I'm asking for full details. Just a basic, simple statement here every now and then. That's it. Simple as.
Yeah, so that is the basic thing. We just want simple. Otherwise, then it eradicates everything about speculation, chaos, as well as confusion. It just eradicates that. Simple press release from Cricket Australia and everybody, or even from the ECB. One of our users pointed out, or BCCI, Vidresh was pointing out, BCCI should learn from ECB and Cricket. See, nobody should learn from anything. Just take the basic, because in India, maybe the dynamics of communication might be different.
Yeah, but
we can't be too blunt, we can't be too direct also.
Yeah, but the ECB and what the ECB and the boards like Australia and all CA do is they at least put that information out there in public.
Yes.
That helps a lot. Because if you're putting it out there in its most basic form, and again, bear in mind, none of us here are asking for nuanced reports. Basic form, if you know, okay, XYZ player is unavailable because of ABC reasons.
Yeah.
That's it.
See, even let me just go back in time, even the 2021 when the bio-bubble breaches happened in Ahmedabad and Delhi. We all came to find out later that who are the players, right? Initially we didn't know. It was all speculated that, okay, this player, and all is simply in that way. Okay, so Hardik, thanks for clarifying. Yes, okay, thank you so much
right,
for clarifying.
okay. Thanks for that clarification.
Yeah, that opaque was the giveaway. So, okay. Even then, there was no clear, the communication came much later. But why don't you just say it? Because see, we all understand the problems, the logistical issues when it comes to organizing the bio bubble. Let's understand one thing. In 2021, even in the Euros, when we were speculating, how will 12 countries host the bio bubble at the time when the COVID was experiencing a surge? In India, we were trying 6 cities, 8 different bio bubbles, 48 to 50 different bio bubbles. But what happened after that? Breaches happened in Ahmedabad and Delhi, the IPL was suspended.
Yeah.
The Euro managed to pull it off things. You think that we are expecting a lot from Kohli? Look, this whole debate is we are expecting some big things from Virat Kohli even at this point in time. Why? A poll was asked, right?
Yeah.
Shubman's first, Kohli's 71st, or neither?
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly, barring me, everybody said Kohli's 71st. What was 71st?
His 71st ton. Yeah.
71st international ton. So why it is not wrong to expect less from Kohli, because see, ODIs and T20Is he's been a beast. Even when he's had the lean patch. But in tests his average has dipped to below 30 in these last 2 years. Ravi, to be fair, despite biggest and powerful credit, BCCI doesn't know how to manage and conduct things. Like BCCI is quite confused and poor about when it comes to proper and accurate news.
Couldn't agree more.
Ravi. I mean, see, if suppose it becomes a nightmare for journalists to just say that, okay, sources and the access are there to some very powerful people. You only get access to very limited this thing. We have to build it over time. Now, suddenly if they say, oh, sources, it leads to confusion. Because they will never tell it out in public. I am under the garb of sources and I just say, oh, okay. Don't quote me, but this is the thing. Your story is done. What it leads to then? The Virat Kohli situation that happened.
Yeah.
It happened 8 days back. Potentially 8 to 10 days back.
It was a while ago. Definitely wasn't an immediate thing.
Yes. But then, if you say, oh, then you are accused of peddling this kind of thing, agenda, this and all that. We just don't want to avoid that. Simple 2-line press release could have happened. Simple. That's what we are saying. Yes, Anish, we did point out that fact that Rohit came in the IPL final. But then he played very well. First 2 tests. Yeah, he won the man of the match. Yeah. In that IPL final. 5th title for the Mumbai Indians.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Why every time it's a case in the Indian? Don't you think BCCI would bio?
This isn't the BCCI's call, Kanav. So I don't think they really made this call, because as of now, if you followed any sport in England, you'd know that there's, in fact, not just sport, everyday life in England, they are very much living with the virus. They've removed all their restrictions. Even mask mandates are not there.
Yeah.
So if you watch again in Premier League, for example, you'll see packed capacity crowds in all of the matches. The same has been happening during the series against Netherlands.
So, and even against New Zealand.
Yeah, so it's not really a protocol. They're not really going with bio bubbles. They're just expressing caution, which I think 2 years into the COVID, and mind you, in England, the vaccination numbers are also very high.
Very high, yep.
So a lot of a good chunk of the public has actually gotten their first and second doses.
Yep.
Right now in India, there's a bit of a different one that, we talk about, okay, you need to get your boosters, this, that. Here, there's obviously quite a few who might not have even gotten their second dose.
Yes.
But in England, that's not been the case. They went on a very big vaccination spree. And of course, you have to remember, population is also much smaller.
So, Anyway, in the world now, there are no bio bubbles as such. England removed the bio bubble. India played the India-South Africa series, you remember, without the bio bubble.
There was no bio bubble, and there were capacity crowds everywhere. So, no.
Yep.
Rishabh Chaturvedi is asking, will Hardik lead in the England T20s also? I think you're joining us a day later, Rishabh, because just yesterday we've done a full video talking just about that. It's a possibility that he may lead in just the first T20. Since you're here, I'll give you that explainer. Just the first T20 in the series, because there's a 2-day gap between the test and the first T20 starting. However, there is an expectation that India will start putting out their full strength squad going forward, because as we also discussed in yesterday's dugout, India's full strength or best T20I 11 haven't really played a game together since the last T20I World Cup. Yep. So that concern is there, and so no, I think, I don't think they will, I don't think they're going to do anything of that sort. Yeah.
Anish is asking, what if India wins this test? Who should lift the trophy? See, it'll be Rohit, because he is the designated captain. But remember, if it is 2-2, then this trophy will be shared. And remember, even previously, if you look at it in our website, in our channel, there is a video on what all has changed.
Yeah, since then, there's a lot changed. Both teams, captains and coaches for one. Yeah. So, Root was...
You have to check out that video.
Yeah, check that one out.
Yep.
Of course.
So, do you remember a clear communication from the BCCI? I got to really think hard.
I mean, let's be fair. There have been instances, Hardik. Let's not be too harsh on them either.
Yeah.
But I think in this case, it's again one of those things where, it's this familiar pattern of, okay, you're finding things out, and then you're like, okay, it's, not exactly official communication, but you kind of just, they kind of just, how do I put this? They, will you accept that it's true, even though it's not necessarily officially confirmed news?
See, again, let me just confirm to all the people about this bio bubble thing, okay? There is a significant amount of the population in India and in England and all over the world. The vaccination numbers are pretty high, okay? That is why it was also felt that the bio bubble was doing more harm mentally to the players.
It was causing burnout,
2 years into the pandemic, it has been so, vaccination numbers when it comes to first and second doses, both in India and the UK and in most parts of the world, are pretty high. But again, there is a surge. There is a surge in the COVID numbers, especially in the UK and in India.
Yeah.
So now, whether we have to bring back the bio bubble, I really don't know.
I don't, unless there's a major, how do I put this?
Major outbreak.
Unless there's a major outbreak, or better yet, I think the better term would be, and there's a new variant of concern that starts, causing a surge. Right now, you can, also put the surge down to the fact that, let's be fair, everywhere the places they're kind of opening up, and cases are also kind of becoming milder. In a lot of cases, there's not a lot of hospitalization happening. Most people are recovering after a few days of quarantine.
Yeah.
So
see,
in that sense,
if there is one bit of protocol that is there in the England-New Zealand series, anybody who tests positive will have to be under 5-day isolation.
Yeah.
That is the only bit of the protocol that is there. But otherwise, there is no bio bubble. There is Yash Vilanka saying Destiny does not intend to win the series. It's just self-proclaimed leader. Nah. I don't agree, Yash. See, India are not going to lose the series. Let's make the way. It's 2-1 with one. Yeah, but can you outright win it after 15 years? That remains to be seen. Edgbaston, yes, has not been a good venue for us. But stranger things have happened. So that is why let's just see how it pans out. But see, this Indian team can win. But by the way, excluding 2018, excluding 2009 New Zealand, 2018 Australia, 2006 in Johannesburg, the Indian team, when it comes to the first test in the Sena countries, have consistently lost.
Yeah.
Will they buck that trend this time, because it's the first test they'll be playing? And in the World Test Championship, that is the first test of the summer in England for them.
Obviously.
They lost that. So it is very, very problematic. They have to overcome this status. Sagar Shane sir, Oz trusted Warner in World Cup because he performed in big matches for Oz in previous World Cup. But how do I believe in Rohit not in form and not performing big matches since 2014?
I mean, technically, then you would just say drop him, which I disagree with.
Yep.
Because again, he's still one of your best players, and I don't believe that you'd be discarding any player this close to a T20 World Cup, this big to any event. And if you're going to go that route, I don't think you're doing it now. Plus, he's the skipper, so you expecting him to be dropped for poor form, bit of a stretch.
Let's just look at the numbers. Okay, yes, agreed. Kohli, barring 2014, he had a fantastic 2014 World T20. 2015, yes, in the semis, he and Rohit failed. 2016, Kohli was fantastic. Rohit was also decent. 2017, ODI, again, the top 3 failed. 2019, top 3 failed. 2021, both matches, which was crucial, they failed. Agreed. But the problem is, Warner, the sample size is not that big enough for him. Even in the 2019 World Cup semi-final, he failed. 22, you are all looking at a format, you are all looking at it in a very different perspective. Look at the format and look at the perspective. Kohli in the World T20s, barring 2021, has been phenomenal. Rohit, decentish. But yeah, in ODIs, they have failed. Look at everything in isolation. That is what I will say. Can Vihari and Pujara play together? And if not, who should be given plan? By the way, thank you, Anish. But Vihari and Pujara, that seems to be the case. I mean, we'll have to have a big talking point as to what can be the 11.
Yeah, because normally, I mean, if you remember when Ajinkya Rahane was first excluded from the scheme of things, it was in the home leg and you had Shreyas Iyer there.
Yes.
But there's a lot of questions about how well he handles quality fast bowling. I'm not so sure he would be starting.
Because remember, there will be no KL Rahul in this whole tour. So, so Shubman will start. Rohit and Shubman
would be your first choice openers, most
Pujara and Rohit and Virat at number 4. Maybe because Rahane is also not considered. So yes, Anish, there is a possibility,
that
Vihari will be there.
He's as it is India's fix-it man anyway.
Yes. So Vihari and Pant at 5 and 6, Jaddu at 7, Siraj, Umesh, Bumrah, Shami. That is probably my 11 that I will say. So yeah, there is a possibility that because Rahane is not there and also Rahul is also not there.
Yeah, and because there's doubts over whether Iyer would be starting overseas test matches immediately.
Rudresh, yeah, there's a big doubt whether Shreyas will play, because where will you fit him? Either you don't play Vihari and play Shreyas at 5.
Yeah, which is a bit of a risk considering. Although if you want to take that risk, I would understand it. But I'm just saying it is indeed possible that you see both Vihari and Pujara in that same test.
I think you would want solidity in the batting, and Pujara and Vihari fit that bill.
Yeah.
So thank you, Bakar. Thank you for your comments. Yes, Iyer looks very difficult. Sankalp Sahu, why India not retained trophy in 2-2 draw? Because India won last versus England in Ahmedabad. So India will retain the trophy. The Patodi trophy will be retained. But 2-2, I am saying outright winning.
Yeah.
3-1 sounds much better than 2-2.
Even a 2-1. I mean, if they draw the test match,
we'll have to look at Edgbaston weather, how it will be, because June and July, it is terrible, the weather there.
Yeah. Sir, Prince Jayant, 24th is your answer.
4-day.
4-day warm-up match.
Yeah, Vihari has much county experience. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Along with Cheteshwar Pujara, he had 400s against Sussex for playing in that. And soon, Washington Sundar
might be going to Lancashire. Yes.
Maybe. Hope so. So, given a choice, I will play Vihari. Absolutely. So, basically, to sum up the entire thing, guys, we are expecting kind of, I'm not saying
before you ask, GGK, when you're saying why not Ashwin, same mistake as last time, can you expand on that, because I'm not very sure what it is you mean. Anyway, carry on.
Ashwin, why I'm saying is because you remember when they were about to pick up the 11 at Lord's and Oval, they said okay, Ashwin might come in because of the conditions, but suddenly it became cloudy. Then we can't pick you. So that is the thing. So Ashwin again.
Yeah, but of course, if you ask me, I would be picking him in a test match if he's available 10 times out of 10. But let's see what team management does.
I know. Why this is the same mistake like last time? Well, again, see, it's a toss-up between Jadeja and Ashwin. Who's fitter? Who's a better? I don't know about this spinner bit. I don't know.
Also, Piyush, the way Umesh bowled in the IPL, I think he should play ahead of Siraj. Your views disagree, different formats. Because of the thing is that, and Siraj, the way he bowls is best suited to Test cricket, and his record previously in the last few Test matches that we played has been pretty good.
Siraj
is very unfair to drop him.
Siraj is a beast when it comes to the red ball format.
And SK asks, will Umran get a chance in Ireland? Probably not. Maybe not.
If in the first game,
perhaps. Maybe. Because again, as we've consistently been stressing on this channel, and as Rahul Dravid himself has come out there and said, is that they're going to be trying to give players longer rope. So maybe, of course, the likes of Bhovi doing well, and in this series, I'm talking about what's his name? Harshal.
Harshal.
I'm getting muddled. Harshal has done well. Bhuvi's done well. They might decide that okay, it's one match. You might want to see how it is that an Umran fares, especially against slightly, not as tough opposition. Let's say, all due respect to Ireland. But I don't see it happening. I think Rahul Dravid has also said that he wants to consistently try players. So maybe they'll be keeping them around him and Arshdeep both. Be there in the nets. Practice. Let them be part of the camp, but maybe not. There's this thing. But of course, and Rahul Anand points out that Jadeja is totally out of form. Yes, but again, different formats. IPL cricket is not the same as international cricket.
Sagar Singh said, we suppose if these big guns fail again. Not hoping for this, yes. So, will they consider them again on 2020 being that they are the biggest?
Probably not.
Sagar, I'll again say, every cycle, remember this cycle of international cricket ends in 2023. A new cycle will start from 2024 till 2030.
Yeah, because remember 2023 is the 50 over World Cup in India.
I would say if I was a selector and a BCCI thing, okay, looking ahead into the future, Rohit is 35 plus, Virat is approaching 35. Okay. Now, I would say after the end of this World T20, phase out Virat and Rohit, you play only tests and ODIs. After the 2023 ODI World Cup, play the test matches and then gradually plan out how do you want to leave. That would be the way I would go about it. But again, in India, Virat, Rohit, let me be very, very clear, they have earned the right as to when they want to go. Even if they want to play till the age of 45, they have all the right to do so, provided they are batting well and contributing. Even Tendulkar, remember, at the age of 40, he was hitting 70s. So he deserves the right to go on their own. So
GGK asked, should Sanju be picked to open ahead of Rituraj and
we already had this big debate.
No, we've already said very clearly that I think Sanju, by the way, might get a chance in the middle order, because again, remember who were 3 and 4 in this particular series. You had Iyer and you had Pant. Both are with the England team. So and of course I think
Surya is making a comeback.
Yeah, Surya is making a comeback. So I think Sanju might play ahead of one of these. So I think Sanju and Surya will be your middle order. I don't think he's replacing Rituraj, because again, Dravid was very complimentary of how Rituraj played, how the kind of intent he showed, positivity he shows, and he said again they're not going to be dropping players. So I think we should stop asking that question at this point.
So basically, to sum it up, look, we are only asking our esteemed board to just keep communication pretty simple. Keep communication logistical. Okay. Prince, but Leicestershire on his official Twitter handle, warm-up game was from 23rd to 24th. Well, it was 24th. We'll again get to check on that. Okay. Let's just check on if it's 23rd, but I think it is 24th.
Let me check that right now, since there seems to be some doubt.
We only expect communication from the BCCI about certain key players. Is Virat Kohli a key player? Yes. Big time player. He's the big gun player. If we want communication on him when it comes to his fitness and as to how he's going to go, then why not ensure that we give us clear communication as to what needs to be done?
23, 26.
Yes, thanks for pointing. So it's tomorrow. So the warm-up begins from tomorrow onwards. Yes, thank you for pointing that out. It is from 23 to 26, 4-day warm-up. And let's see how the Indian team performs in Leicestershire. Hope rain stays away, because Leicestershire, and as I told you, June to July, it's terrible weather in the UK. So simply, yes.
Also, GGK, I'm taking last question of yours, where you asked how is it that Sanju can be ahead of Huda? Well, because generally speaking, for the Indian team, Huda, Venkatesh Iyer and the likes were looked at as lower order finishers rather than middle order batsmen. Again, remember, Huda has largely played that role throughout his career. The only time he played higher up the order was this year for Lucknow. So again, the Indian cricket team management has made it clear that what your IPL role may be, you might be playing a different role in the Indian colours. Again, look at Hardik. He was batting at number 4 for Gujarat Titans. He's batting at 5 here. So it doesn't really matter what your IPL role is. You'll be playing a different role in the Indian cricket team.
So plenty of action coming up. 23 to 26 is the warm-up game. India versus Leicestershire. Although, let us not keep our high hopes on that, because if Virat scores 200 or 250, please temper it down. The standard of county cricket in England has really, really deteriorated. So let us not keep our hopes high on that. Yes, 23 to 26 is the warm-up game, followed by 26 and 28 India versus Ireland T20s, and then the big one, 1 to 5 July, India versus England.
That final test match.
So Sagar Singhal, well, that is a debate for another day, my boy, because Owen Morgan is a different beast altogether. Because remember, an Irishman leading an England team to glory is something that even history would not have anticipated. So that's a debate for some other time, folks. So
I hope you enjoyed this particular debate of ours.
I hope it was as clear, unlike the BCCI communication.
And if you guys have any different takes on it, don't forget to reach us in the comments. We do read them, even if we can't reply to them all the time. And again, if you want to shower us with some more love, like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I mean, come on, just one click. And last but not the least, tap the bell icon so you know every single time we're going live or posting a new video. Thank you all for joining us. Vanakkam. Bye bye.